Hey, what's up guys? SypherPK here. Today we are going to be breaking down some pro player analysis, and today we're going to be starting with SypherPK, one of my absolute favorite Fortnite professional gamers. The thing I like about SypherPK is just the fact that he's not necessarily the best aimer, he's not necessarily the best editor, but his decision-making ability is unprecedented, and the decisions he makes are just really, really amazing. Although he is still a good aimer and a good editor, I'm not taking those away from him. But in this pro player analysis, we're going to be breaking down everything he does, all the decisions he makes, everything he does right, everything he does wrong, and everything his opponents do right and wrong. And we're going to learn a hell of a lot from this. I'm also going to be doing this series with a bunch of other pro players. Today we're just starting with Sypher and one of his videos. For those of you guys who are new to the channel and don't know who I am or what I'm doing, my name is SypherPK. I am out on a personal mission to prove that quite literally anything is possible. In order to do that, I am going to go from a normal gamer to an esports professional, even though I am not talented at video games at all. If that kind of thing is interesting to you, I'd really appreciate if you liked, subscribed, and shared this video. We have a lot of video to get through today because we're really going to go into detail on SypherPK. So let's go ahead and jump straight into it. Alright guys, today we're going to be watching SypherPK's video, Streamer Dominates Pros in the World Cup. Alright, so we're going to be watching this video from SypherPK, Streamer Dominates Pros in the World Cup qualifiers. Obviously, I do not own this gameplay footage. It completely belongs to SypherPK. I'm not doing this to claim his video or claim his content anyway, just as purely for educational purposes to analyze his gameplay. Alright, so here we have SypherPK. He's going into Lonely Lodge, and what he's going to do is going to land at the bottom of the house here. First thing he's doing is he's looking for a weapon. He finds smoke grenades and he gets one of the flintlock pistols. Hearing a guy behind him who for some reason is going for the pickaxe. I do not know why this guy is landing behind him and going for a pickaxe in a World Cup qualifying tournament, which seems absolutely insane. But this SypherPK is able to get an easy headshot on him, and that's a simple kill. There's not too much to learn from this one, just good aim on Sypher and good job staying calm. I think one of the things that we're going to see from SypherPK a lot in this video is just look at his face on the left. He is very calm. No matter what happens, he's always staying calm. And that's probably one of his biggest advantages that he has, is he has an amazing ability to stay calm in dire situations. So he gets the easy kill. What he hears here is he's about to loot this house, but he hears a vending machine. And SypherPK knows that vending machines in general give you better loot, so he's immediately going to break out of here and go for this vending machine and build around it. Looking through, he could pick the big pot. He decides to pick the shotgun because there is no other shotgun, and shotguns are really, really important. So always have a shotgun, always have an AR, that's standard. Here we can see SypherPK's first mistake. In general, shooting out of windows is hard, particularly in Lonely Lodge, where this window is at a very awkward angle where you can't really shoot through it. And so he's going to try to take some shots at the opponent, and you can see the wall in front of him actually absorbs about 76 damage that he just dealt out, and he missed every shot. And he's actually complain about it here.
That window really screwed me.
So, in general, I would say shooting outside of windows, I have personally noticed, is normally it just doesn't work as well as shooting into a building. Shooting out of a building, it just tends to be harder for some reason. I don't know why, but particularly here at Lonely, wasn't a great idea. Sypher's going to go ahead and keep farming, and what he's going to hear is footsteps. So footsteps are coming for him. He's immediately going to box up into box mode. What he notices here is the enemy's being very aggressive. So one thing Sypher does very well is he plays boxes very well. He's kind of known as the box guy. And so he's going to box up and just play defense for a little bit. He just thinks about going up top, but decides it's not worth it. And so he's just going to see what the enemy does. Somehow, and I've been trying to figure this out, somehow the enemy in that time gets his wall. It looks like that was his wall there, but then right there it looks like he actually gets the wall while Sypher is distracted thinking about going up top. You could consider that a mistake, but in general, yeah, when an opponent like this one is being very aggressive, you have to play defense against them and understand what they're doing. So Sypher does not realize that and kind of gets caught off guard here. I think if he knew the opponent had the wall, he wouldn't have held this ramp. Instead, he would have moved up and went up top. But taken by surprise, the enemy gets in, and the enemy makes a very aggressive play. This is a play I actually have seen a few other pros do as well. I've seen Mitro do this. I've seen quite a few very aggressive players do this. where they'll, if you're holding a ramp, they will run straight up into your ramp and they will start shooting it down. And what this enables them to do is then break through that ramp. Even if you're holding the ramp, they could still break through it. So here you go, Sypher's holding the ramp, but the enemy, being so aggressive, is able to get through the ramp. And this allows them an easy shot to hit Sypher. I don't know what kind of attack they have, but it only does 40 damage. Sypher stays very calm, 3 shots and a kill. And somehow the enemy misses all those shots. So it's a little bit lucky. And you can tell Sypher's like, I dodged a bullet, because that one was a little fishy. In fact, in general, I would say the enemy had the advantage in that position, being able to take it from surprise and also getting the first shot off. They just happened to miss all the other shots, and that's what caused them to miss that or lose that fight. Sypher's going to go ahead and continue getting materials, and we're going to fast forward here to the next engagement. So moving up the ramp here, Sypher's going to see an enemy and start taking shots. Like any good opponent does, they're going to block the shots of the wall. As always, rules of engagement in Fortnite, you start taking shots. Once defense happens, you go for high ground. That's just basic knowledge. For Sypher, this is a very easy decision. On the left is a natural high ground, so he knows he can build up without expending too many materials and use this natural high ground to his advantage. So that's what he does, just ramps, nothing fancy. However, his opponent has the same idea, and when he gets here, he realizes his opponent has also built for high ground. Sypher's going to do something very interesting. He's going to play the pyramid and some walls to try to trap the opponent. Unfortunately, he does it a little bit too soon, and he misses the opponent. So thinking about going for high ground, he decides, okay, I probably lost the high ground. SypherPK is one of those players that is not very aggressive when it goes towards getting a high ground. He doesn't need a high ground to win fights. It's what makes his gameplay really, really interesting to watch, because oftentimes he'll let opponents get the high ground and just stay in the box. And here you go, you can see he's in the box. His opponent gets the ramp on top of him, and now there's only a floorboard between him and the opponent. So what Sypher's going to do is he's going to defend by holding out his floorboard. The opponent's going to shoot, Sypher's just playing defense here. Just defense. And he's going to wait for the right moment to attack. So right here, he notices the enemy takes out his pickaxe, immediately goes for a quick edit and a shot. Unfortunately, he has only attack, which does 30 damage. That sucks. And now he's back into defense mode. Now that he's hit some shots, the enemy's a little shaken. He's going to break out and try to go for high ground here. But the enemy stays on top of him, and Sypher goes into a box again. So the enemy's going to keep on breaking through the top, Sypher lets him break through. Gets a very nice shot. And this is a really nice play here. Sypher recognizes that he got the shot, but moreover, his opponent got the floorboard on top of him. So he gets the shot, enemy gets the floorboard. Recognizing this is no longer his floorboard, Sypher does something very interesting. He runs towards the enemy, and he places a ramp. And in general, I think a lot of people can sympathize with somehow getting underneath their ramps, but very few people think of how they could purposely get underneath their ramps when they place them. By running towards the wall and placing a ramp, he's able to put that extra layer underneath him. He knows his opponent has no more shields because he just hit him for 111 or so, 120. So he's going to break out the side and try to go for the kill shot. Unfortunately, the enemy gets a very nice shot on him, and it's hard to tell if this was an error for Sypher or not. If going for this shot was too aggressive, but the more I think about it, the more I think this is actually an okay call, because he knew his opponent was so weak. I think it would have been better if he had a pump shotgun and not attack shotgun. This may have been a kill if he had a pump, but because he had attack, it does very little damage, and he takes a ton of damage. So he's going to box up again. Again, notice how calm Sypher is. He's very calm in the situation, even though he just got hit hard. What he's going to do, he's going to edit out, he's going to go for a gas grenade, and it looks like his opponent was low enough that it kills him pretty much on impact. So this was another really good heads-up play by Sypher, is recognizing that his opponent is so weak that they're most likely going to want to heal. So he goes for the gas grenade play through the wall. This is not something a lot of players would have done, but based off the fact that the guy was so weak, that's something that that actually makes a lot of sense. From this point on, Sypher's just going to be holding. He's just going to be holding high ground. So basically what he does for competitive games, and this isn't necessarily the best strategy for non-competitive games, but he's going to be holding high ground in his box here, and using the pyramid to peek through, and just moving from circle to circle. So this gameplay isn't too exciting, but it's the easiest way to stay alive. Again, he's just using the pyramid to peek through the walls and see what's going on.
I don't know how close that crate is.
He decides he wants to go for the crate because he doesn't have the best weapons.
Off the hill.
So he decides to go for the crate. He moves down the hill here, protecting his sides. So he's angling the ramp in the direction of where he knows enemies are. And going for the crate. Sure enough, he gets nothing really that great. So it's a little unfortunate for him. So he's very disappointed because Heavy Sniper in these competitive games are not that useful. It's a very aggressive tool, believe it or not, the Heavy Sniper. But in general, you're in these really close quarter situations where sniping isn't that useful. Instead, actually, gas grenades become very useful, and that's why he's holding on to the gas grenades. What he's going to do is he's going to build up this mountain here because he wants to get into circle, and he also wants to be in a good spot to rotate to the next circle in case it's up on top of one of the mountains next to him.
A little bit.
So what he's going to do is he's going to fan out a little bit, as he says, and just build some nice boxes here.
A lot of mats.
He's using pyramids and floorboards, so that he has double protection on the floor. Unfortunately, the location of the circle
Above
is
this hill in time.
really unfortunate. He says he's trying to get above the hill, so this is going to cause him to use the rift, which is one of the best tools you can have in the end game. Unfortunately, he has to use it a little early. So here, what he's going to do, end game is actually really simple. It looks a lot more complicated than it is because it is very hectic, but in general, the strategy and the decision making is very, very simple. Essentially, what you want to do is you want to get towards circle. That's goal number one. Goal number two is get high ground if you can, but if you can't, that's okay until the end game. End game, like at the very, very end, you want to be high. So what Sypher's going to do is his first goal is just to get circle. And whenever you're rifting down somewhere, in general, you want to get into the circle, step number one. Step number two, you want to land on someone's build, and you want to build on top of them and get some semblance of high ground. So here you go. He finds a nice spot to build up and build a nice box, and now he has a decent sized high ground in the circle. This is perfect positioning for him to continue on this fight. So the first thing Sypher does whenever he's in the end game is he'll build a box in the circle on the high ground. He'll play defense for a little bit, and then he'll immediately go into offense mode. Who can he start shooting at? So here you go. He's starting to look, and he notices one enemy off to the side. He's going to use these gas grenades to kill them. This is why gas grenades are so useful in the end game for these competitive games, because everyone's in a box, everyone's playing passive, everyone doesn't want to die. So using gas grenades is an easy way to kill opponents through their own walls. So here you go. He's tracking the numbers where the enemy is going, and he's just pushing towards them. And he really wants to get this kill so he could get some extra points. So he's still gassing, pushing towards this enemy, pushing towards him. One more hit, and there you go. He gets the kill. Accidentally walks in his own gas, but otherwise he gets the kill. And now he's going to wait till the gas subsides and take his enemy's loot. Luckily for him, his enemy had a rift, which is really useful. So also a big pot and some other things. So here we go. Sypher is in a good position now with a campfire and a rift. This is great. So now that he's secure inside this area, he's going to get some walls of his own and start looking for who he can kill. Again, defense, then offense. So get the box, get secured, then start seeing who you can kill. So he's looking for enemies, he's looking, he's seeing someone build, he edits out and shoots. Keeps aggressively lasering, unfortunately does not get the kill. And then uses the rift to get on out of there.
Didn't reload my AR. I was going to try to pick up the other AR so I can have two ARs to spray with, but
Because this endgame is so complex in terms of the landscape,
it's intended.
using the rift is really, really useful here. Because this allows Sypher to move without having to expend any mats. Plus, he can stay high. So here you go. He looks for the opponent who is the highest. He's going to land on the opponent in the storm, surprisingly. And he's going to build out. Now Sypher is in a very unique position. He has a high ground. He's higher than anyone else in the game. He's going to use pyramid and floors to double secure his floors. He's going to look up constantly to make sure no one else is above him. But being at the very top of the map has some really amazing benefits in that no one is above you, so literally is a shooting gallery now. He can just look down and shoot at people. He knows there's one guy up there who looks like they dropped because he doesn't see them anymore. So he's just going to look down and see who he can kill. He got a ball. He's going to be putting these pyramids to secure his floor so he doesn't get shot down. He has no glider, so he has to be very careful here. And now he's just going to be shooting down as necessary. So looking up, make sure no one's above him, and then shooting down. So here he is. He's building out. There's one guy. He gets a nice kill on him with a little AR shot. There's a guy below him. He's going to laser this guy. Great shots. Guy goes for a jump play for some reason. Sypher's just going to stay high. He's not going to play too aggressive. He's just going to stay high and keep shooting down and moving into a circle as necessary. Noticing a guy above him, he goes for a quick shot. That guy, for some reason, does not land on his build and instead just keeps gliding. Sypher doesn't want to stay too high, so he's going to start dropping, looking up, dropping. Sees an enemy, quick laser, easy kill. Guy was literally oblivious to what was going on. Again, looking down, shooting. One of the things you can start seeing is what the enemies are doing that's really effective against what Sypher's doing, and that is just constantly moving and building roofs. Because they're moving consistently, the one guy who Sypher was able to kill really easily just built out of wood and kind of wasn't doing much. These other guys, they're building and consistently defending against Sypher. So the fact that they are paying attention to someone's on the high ground shooting down at them is what makes them really hard to kill. And now you can see Sypher doesn't really have an option to be able to kill them too easily. He's on this high ground, he's in a great position, but he doesn't have a good shot anymore. So he's just gonna keep moving, keep looking, and just hold steady here. He may decide to drop down a little bit if he thinks he's a little too high off the ground. Yep, there he goes. He's starting to drop. So now there's only one enemy left, and he recognizes it. So he could play a little bit more aggressively. So he's going to be dropping down a little bit using the ramp, the wall ramp technique, wall ramp. He also uses the ramp because it allows him to place a floor here. So now the opponent is shooting up at him, and he has both the floor and the ramp to protect him. He's slowly going down. The opponent is now on the low ground, playing very calm, very consistently, just holding the SMG fire and slowly going down, and really making sure he gets that headshot kill. All right, guys, jumping into game number 2 from SypherPK. He's landing in a similar spot here. He sees the chest, and he's going to go ahead and go straight for the chest. Enemies in these Pro Cups love these ballers because it's 200 additional health where they can get shot and not die, plus they're really hard to hit. So he goes ahead and lands here and gets a baller as well because they're really useful for endgame. So this gameplay is going to be a lot about how to use the baller to win games. The baller is an incredibly powerful tool if you know how to use it right, and SypherPK in this game is going to put on a clinic in terms of how to use a baller to actually win games. So here, Sypher here's some chests. He's going to go for some chests. Goes for a chest at the top. What he notices here is he starts hearing footsteps. And notice what Sypher does. Again, his ability to stay calm under pressure. He notices his opponent starts to gas. He notices his opponent is trying to put some pressure on him, but the gas isn't hitting him. So he's not panicking. He's not building up. He's not doing anything. He's going to hold his high ground because he knows he's in an advantageous position. He doesn't have to do anything because he's in the best spot that he could be. Also notice what he has equipped right now. It's the boogie bombs. So Sypher's plan right now is to wait for this opponent to come up the stairs, hit the boogie bomb, and then go for the kill. So he's going to wait very patiently. In other circumstances, if this was pubs or anything else, he might have dropped down, looked for this enemy, try to go more aggressively. But because this is a World Cup qualifying tournament, he's going to play very safe and defend. So notice what the enemy does here. The enemy is pushing up the stairs. And to push up the stairs, you can see on the far right, they're using floorboards. So they block themselves with floorboards so Sypher couldn't shoot down at them or get an easy boogie bomb, and then they edit through the floorboards to keep pushing up. And now this opponent is circling up around Sypher. The way Sypher's going to defend against this is very simple. It's just maintain high ground. So he's going to build up again. He's going to look for the shot. In this case, with the boogie bomb, he doesn't actually have a shotgun, and he goes for the boogie bomb. The opponent is lucky enough to get a very quick floorboard off here, but this is actually a very heads-up play by Sypher, and it's this ability of his to predict what opponents are going to do that makes him so great. He knows that his opponent is trying to build up to him, and he knows right here is where he can get his boogie bomb off. So before he even sees the opponent, he begins throwing it. Luckily, the opponent blocks it, so that's unfortunate for Sypher.
Oh.
And then the opponent exits out.
I don't blame him.
So Sypher's going to start moving.
Still, it's just... It's not a fight I should be taking, I don't think.
So here Sypher says it's not a fight I should be taking. The reason why is if you look in the top right, they are far away from the circle and the storm is closing in. So what Sypher is going to do is he's going to take out his boom bow here and he's going to go for a shot. This is very similar to what you would do if you had a sniper rifle. So he's going to go for a shot. If he missed this shot, I guarantee his decision would have been to get the heck out of here and go towards circle because it's not a fight worth having. But because he hit this 100 damage, he realizes this is a fight that I can close out quickly. And you can even hear him say 100 is good though. So he's pushing in and he's going for a kill. Because of the trees and because of the fact his opponent is already high, Sypher realizes that high ground and pushing high ground is not worth it. And again, Sypher tends to be more comfortable on the ground or in boxes than on high ground. So here he is on the low ground, and he's getting bombed by those grenades. So in general, against these kinds of grenades, the thing to do is to move your butt somewhere. It doesn't matter where. In this case, Sypher moves backwards to try to put some space. You can see one grenade lands on the tree, but one grenade lands right in front of Sypher. You can see the red outline in front of him, in front of the girl that is his character. What the opponent's going to do here is after they throw the grenades, they're going to start shooting the walls. And this is a really smart play by the opponent because just throwing the sticky bombs is not enough to actually get a kill because obviously any good player is going to put walls up. But if you can break a wall at the right time that you throw the grenade, then there's a chance you break the wall right as the bomb blows up and it hits the enemy. And here you can see what happens. Just the perfect timing for the wall to break and the bomb to blow, and it hits Sypher. And now suddenly this is anyone's fight.
Hit me?
So Sypher's a little annoyed that that hit him. Nothing he necessarily did wrong except for the fact that he held a single wall against a sticky bomb. Instead, what he could have done is put a wall in a ramp or backed up further. So he's going to put a campfire down and hit some heals. But more importantly than heals is making sure that he defends against this wall. Because he knows he has to close out this fight fast, he goes for a very aggressive play. In the edit, the boogie bomb, he actually almost dies here. So it's a very risky play, but he ends up getting rewarded with it. By hitting the boogie bomb and not completely dying. So that was a very, very close fight. I guarantee Sypher would play that a little bit more slowly if there was more time. So notice how Sypher's using the baller. He's shooting the baller off to the side and using the centrifugal force to pull him forward. This is something I've seen quite a few pro players do, where they won't shoot it directly ahead of them, but instead shoot out to the side, and that allows them to move a little bit faster in the baller. So from this point forward, SypherPK is going to do a very, very simple tactic to win these games. Very, very simple. What he's going to do is he's going to take his baller, he's going to get into the circle, and he's going to find a building.
I want to take this house right here.
You hear what he says, I want to take this house. And what he's going to do is he's going to take his baller, he's going to park it up against a building, he's going to build a box, and he's going to start breaking the building. Now this does a few things. For one, it enables him to get some materials by breaking the building, and two, it makes sure his baller is safe, he has a nice defensible position, and three, the building provides an extra level of defense for him. So here Sypher's talking about the next position he wants to go to. He finds another house in the middle of the circle.
One where we got 26th place. That, I think what eventually led to that was just me being too worried about...
So here we go. He's going to find a building. He's going to box up in it, and now he's going to start building out. And again, this allows him to both get mats and find a defensible position to park his baller. So he's going to fan out, build, and then hold this position. So here we go. Sypher's in his box. He's in the two walls. What?
It's one of these guys that get a little desperate.
What he's gonna start doing
It's actually sounding like some of them are
is something a little risky. He's gonna start building out and trying to see if he can go for kills. This isn't a bad play by any means. By building out like this, he's trying to look and see if he can get some easy kills, but instead he ends up finding a very hyper-aggressive enemy. And let's back this up a little bit, because the play this guy makes is actually really good. It actually could have ended Sypher's entire game right here. So Sypher's going to go ahead and break this, and what's going to happen is this guy is going to hit Sypher with the heavy sniper shot into a shotgun. And the fact that this shotgun just barely misses Sypher is incredibly lucky. Into AR combo. So this guy had the heavy sniper into shotgun into AR combo, which is incredibly aggressive combo that you could use against enemies that are only being held back by a single wall. So that could have been the game end for Sypher right there, but instead Sypher makes a quick edit. And then recognizing the guy has stopped shooting at him, Sypher goes for a quick wall peek, but the guy builds a ramp and gets out.
I don't want to mess with that guy. He's clearly... he clearly has it out for me.
So as Sypher says, he clearly has it out for me. That guy was playing incredibly aggressive. And yeah, that kind of play is just incredibly aggressive. Anything with a heavy sniper is incredibly aggressive and potentially very risky as well. So Sypher gets gassed. He's going to use his baller to get out of here. And like he does every single other time, he's going to do the same thing with the baller. He's going to go, he's going to find a building. He's going to park his baller in the building, in the circle. And he's going to build a 1x1 against it, just like that. He's going to break the walls that aren't his. And then he's going to fan out. The same thing he's been doing this whole time. So again, he's going to fan out. And there you go. So now he's safe, a nice 2x2, has some flexibility to maneuver around, to look. One of the things he's going to be doing is, now that he's played defense, he's going to start looking for offense. So we saw this in the last game as well. He finds a nice spot, he plays defense, and he starts looking immediately for how he can start getting kills for offense. To do that, he's actually looking towards the back of the circle, because he knows enemies are trying to push towards him, his position on the side of the circle he's on. So now this allows him a good opportunity to start looking for kills. So he's going to start opening up some windows and seeing if he could find some enemies. Sure enough, he finds one. He starts shooting, and gets a kill easy. Again, he's looking for more kills, looking, and not seeing much opportunity around him. So now he's playing his escape with the baller. The storm is nearly on top of him, so he's going to edit out here. And it's time to roll out. Again, same thing he did with the baller for the last 2 or 3 times. 3 times now. He's going to take his baller. He's going to go over into the circle. So here it's a little awkward because the circle actually, the storm hasn't gone to the circle yet. So he's just going to roll along the side, and wait until he gets in the circle. Now he's in the circle. He's going to build a 1x1, play some defense. He's getting shot at, play defense, and now he's safe, so fan out by 1. Unfortunately, his baller got hit a little bit there, so that's frustrating, but not a big deal. So he's now safe in his 1x1, and he's going to play some defense. Now that he's safe, he's actually started looking for offense. So now who can he start killing now that no one is shooting at him? He sees a guy outside. He goes for a shot, goes for the laser. Ends up getting some damage and a kill, so perfect. Storm is on his back. He's going to roll out, grab some materials, and try to get to the next circle. Same exact thing. Go to the circle. There's all these guys and these ballers. Same thing. Go into the circle.
Don't you dare!
Go into the circle, build a 1x1, play defense, fan out. Play defense. Okay, now start looking for offense. Who can he start killing? A guy wanders right next to him. Easy kill. Circle is now moving on him very slowly, so he needs to start thinking about getting out of here. And notice here he makes a very important observation. It's time to take high ground. Sypher's strategy is, in these endgame scenarios, is to always be on the high ground when the circle starts to close in. So using this baller, he's going to start pushing up and going for high, and he kind of messes up a little bit there. actually ends up breaking that guy down, which is actually a really heads-up play. It works very well. And again, he's going to go up, 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 and he's going to jump out, and he's going to build.
Oh.
So now he's got high ground. And now he's the highest person on the map, and just like last game, he can do the exact same thing. He's got high ground. He needs to look up, make sure no one's rifting or doing whatever on top of him. But other than that, it's open season, and he can just start shooting down. Unfortunately for him, one of the most effective strategies against someone getting high ground is to blow them up with a rocket launcher. And so you're going to see an enemy use a very effective tactic against Sypher here, which is the rocket launcher. And if you are ever in an endgame scenario where someone has a high ground on you, then a rocket launcher is a very great way to disrupt them. And so what he's going to do to defend against it, he's building floors and pyramids and floors and pyramids, and then layers as well. So this enemy can't hurt him too much, but the enemy gets another rocket and drops Sypher all the way down, so Sypher's going to build up. Here's why I think Sypher makes a very critical mistake that actually does not cost him the game, but the normal rules of the game are to go for high ground, stay high ground, build floorboards, build pyramids, and look down and shoot at enemies. Instead, what Sypher does is he builds out to the side and gets surprised by an enemy right next to him. So this is very awkward. He goes for a shot and then a ramp, which is very common when you're in very close situations. Luckily, the enemy only hit him for a little bit, and luckily the enemy was weak, so he was able to get the quick kill. Right here, an enemy goes for a boogie bomb on his pyramid. It misses completely. But potentially, maybe there was an angle to hit that boogie bomb. I'm not sure. From this point on, it is 1v1. Sypher versus this guy. Sypher's in the dominant position on the high ground, and therefore Sypher needs to stay adamant in keeping the high ground, because that is his power position. So Sypher's just stay high, and he's going to start looking down and looking to see where he can keep his opponent. His opponent is building up, and he builds up as well with his opponent. The goal is just stay high and look down. Noticing his opponent dropped, he's trying to look for a boombo shot. One thing that's a little risky is that he's not putting pyramids, and there you go, he finally puts pyramids there. So I would say not putting pyramids is very risky, but he has a glider in case he gets knocked down.
Oh, frick, I didn't mean to do that.
Unfortunately, Sypher manages to get knocked down, and this is just... oh, I must have jumped ahead. So here we're back in it. So Sypher actually does get knocked down.
Frick, I didn't mean to do that.
So what he's angry at is not the fact that he got knocked down or that he didn't prevent it from getting knocked down, but the fact that he pulled his glider way too early. And in general, having a glider is great, having a glider is fine, but pulling it as soon as you get knocked down is a certain way for you to get shot and killed, and nearly gets him killed here. He lands in the tree and then immediately goes for high ground. The opponent starts building really fast and starts shooting up at him, but then right here, again, like I said, the opponent starts building really fast and starts moving for high ground. And right there, the opponent pulls off some crazy 90s and goes all the way from the bottom all the way on top of Sypher and traps him in. Sypher's going to immediately get out of there because the guy was putting dart traps on him. He's going to look up for the kill and get the shot that wins the game.
Oops. I did not mean to deploy right there so early. GG, man.
So yeah, the deploying early almost cost him the game, but otherwise it was very, 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 very good play by Sypher. A couple mistakes at the end, but otherwise he played very well by using the simple tactic of keeping the baller, going from circle to circle until the very end, then taking the high ground for the final 2, 3, 4 guys, and then keeping high ground until the very end, dropping on his enemy and killing him, or in this case, getting his enemy weak enough and being at the bottom of the circle for a quick, easy shot as he's falling down. So... Alright guys, that was my pro player analysis of SypherPK. This was probably a long video because there was a ton to talk about. So hopefully you picked some stuff up from this gameplay and you could use it in your own gameplay, because I know I certainly have personally. I'm going to be doing this for a bunch of other pro players as well, and also my own gameplay. And if you guys want to send in gameplay, I could do the same kind of analysis on your gameplay. If you're interested, let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, leave a like, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're interested in more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one. Boom.